Great. Welcome everybody to this session where you just already saw an introduction about the program from EC2U, Sustainable Cities and Communities. My name is Luc Mulling. I'm the moderator. And before we go over to the presenters that we have lined up for you, I'm going to briefly explain to you a little bit of the interactive options we have available for you. So if you join live, you can ask your questions by writing them at the bottom called in the tab called questions at any time. And yeah, we will be answering these questions at the end. For people watching the recording, you can also still write your questions. So take advantage. Of course, we cannot answer them live. However, we will be sending the questions through to the staff of EC2U. Also, I already saw somebody did. You can in the chat, you can write where you're from. Maybe just join in, tell us where you're logging in from, as we'd like to see if we have a bit of an international audience today. So go ahead and let us know. And we have some more fun parts. Also, polling. It already opened up to hear a little bit more about your background. And I will be opening up some more questions later. And last but not least, we have a little fun button at the bottom called React. And if you click on that, that's the one. You can let us know a little bit about feedback as well. If you hear something you like, for example, then let us know. It's just to have a bit more fun and interaction for the presenters as well. Having said that, let's go over to the presenters. And we will be going over live to Portugal, where we have with us Professor Luis Cruz, and he will introduce himself and as well then the other members. Good luck.
Hello, my name is Luis Cruz, and I'm professor at the Faculty of Economics of the University of Coimbra in Portugal. I have research, and my background is in economics, and mainly in environmental economics and also in regional economics. So, as you might understood, is well related to what is the subject that I'm going to talk to you about, that is the sustainable cities and communities, and the master that we created about it. Well, the master that I'm going to talk with you, and I will show you the slides. I think I can do it now. The master in sustainable cities and communities that I'm going to talk about is inserted in a European project that was approved within the Erasmus Plus program, which corresponds to an alliance between 7 European universities that have common characteristics and objectives, as you have seen in the video that we have seen before. Besides the video that you have already seen, you can find more information about this project that is known by the acronym of EC2U. And these 7 universities, as I told you, have common characteristics. And the main characteristics of these 7 universities, Coimbra, Salamanca, Poitiers, Pavia, Jena, Turku, and Yazid, is that they are, we can call it city universities. The partners are universities that are rooted in medium-sized universities where their campus have a strong presence both in the urban fabric and in the city life, constituting a common study basis with enormous potential. So it's city universities. Well, within this project, the EC2U projects, the fields of knowledge of the participating universities lead us to form a strong alliance related with 3 main areas that are related with the goals, the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, namely with Sustainable Development Goals number 3 on good health and well-being, on the Sustainable Development Goal number 4, quality education, and the number 11 that we'll talk more in detail on sustainable cities and communities. So the first part of the program and one of the main focus was to create innovative joint educational programs around these three objectives of Sustainable Development Goals, and to develop research institutes, virtual research institutes related with this. You can find on the webpage of the EC2U University information about the 3 joint master degrees that were created within this project. I'm going to talk about the sustainable cities and communities. You might see videos about all of them, and you have the opportunity to follow through webinars like this one later on this month on the other 2 master courses. So I will talk a little bit more in detail on what is joining us here today, that is to talk on the joint master degree in sustainable cities and communities. We can see a short video that explains a lot of what is this master, and then I can complement some information.
The degree Sustainable Cities and Communities is a joint master's programme offered jointly by the 7 member universities of the EC2U Alliance. It will give you the opportunity to personalise your learning path in an international, multicultural and dynamic environment.
What makes this master program unique is a combination of different factors. It is focused on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 11 on sustainable cities and communities. This program has also a strong multicultural and multidisciplinary approach. It is organized in such a way that the 3 first semesters are covered with the regular courses, and the last semester, the 4th one, will be dedicated to the dissertation. In the first 3 semesters, we have typically 2 mandatory courses per semester and 3 optative courses. The 3 optative courses will be selected among the available courses in each one of the 3 universities, and the mandatory courses are dedicated both to transversal competencies, for instance, research methodologies, scientific writing and scientific communication, innovation and entrepreneurship. And we have also some introductory courses very much dedicated to the topic of the master program, Sustainable Cities and Communities. The students will start the master program in the University of Coimbra. That is the of the master, and after they will follow going to Turku and Poitiers. The 4th semester dissertation can be done in each one of the 3 universities, or there is even a possibility of doing it in one of the other 4 universities of the EC2, the European Campus for City and Universities project. And these universities are IAGI in Romania, Jena in Germany, Salamanca in Spain, and Pavia in Italy. After finishing the master program, the graduated will have the possibility of finding careers in the area of city and regional planning, also in the sectors of energy, environment and sustainability in different companies and institutions, also in the national and international agencies, in consulting companies, in certification bodies, and finally, there is always a possibility of developing a research career or an academic career, either in universities, in laboratories, or in companies that are involved in this area that now is becoming very much important for our development.
Come and join.
Okay, go ahead.
So you have already listened some information about the Master in Sustainable Cities and Communities, but I can reinforce some of the information you have already listened. This master course was created in association, is a joint program of the University of Coimbra in Portugal, the University of Turku in Finland, and the University of Poitiers in France at this initial stage, and the other four universities of the Alliance might join to us later on. This program has already started. This academic year, we are having the first edition in September. Last September, it started the first edition of the program. You can find a lot of information on the webpage on the Master's Degree Sustainable Cities and Communities of the EC2U website. You have all the information on the left side that you can follow the links in order to get more informed about it. You have a leaflet on the main information, and I can explain a little bit how it works during the program. First of all, the teaching organization between the institutions is designed so that each of the universities that is involved is responsible for teaching one semester. By now, the path is the following. Students start in the first semester of the first year in the University of Coimbra. On the second semester of the first year, they go to the University of Turku. Then on the first semester of year two, they go to the University of Poitiers. And then the last semester of the course, the fourth one, it can be in any of the 7 universities. The majority of them will be on the 3 universities, but it is also possible to study, to do the master thesis at one of the other universities. I can explain a little bit more on the organization of the course, saying that besides the mandatory courses, the transversal courses that we have, the mandatory courses include 2 introductory courses to the main subject of the course, so the sustainable cities and communities, that allow somehow a common knowledge base for all the students. As I've told you, the transversal courses include research methodologies, innovation and entrepreneurship, scientific writing and communication, and the distribution between the semesters of the mandatory courses is that students should have 2 mandatory courses in each of the 3 semesters at each of the universities. They also have 3 elective courses in each of the semesters. So the course comprehends always 5 courses per semester, 2 that are mandatory and 2 that are elective courses. And again, at the last semester, on the 4th one or the second year, is the master thesis to be done at one of the universities. The main issue that is important to highlight is that the mobility scheme that is grounded in this course is very important. As you have the note there, 2 semesters abroad are required, and students may not spend more than 2 semesters at the same university. So students have to spend one of the semesters in each of the universities, and the last one is the only one where you can repeat one of the universities that is connected with it. I don't know if maybe it's time to pass the word to Conceição or to Claudia if they want to explain something about the application, or if we leave that for the questions, for the time of the questions. Well, I think I may proceed just to give you another idea on the way the elective courses are structured. Basically, we can say that besides that transversal competencies and the introductory courses, we have four main areas or subjects that aggregate the different courses that are available in the different schools about the environment and development, energy systems, economics and management, and environment and construction. Uh, Basically, we can say that Coimbra will contribute to aspects related to energy and economy, the University of Poitiers with disciplines related to water, ecosystems, and buildings, and Turku dedicates to a more geographical, cultural, and social aspects. I have here just a list of some of the courses that were available this first semester, and students were able to choose three of these courses. For instance, energy planning and sustainable development, sustainable mobility, energy conversion, production and storage, environmental economics, that is one of the courses that I teach, space organization and environment, buildings and environment, and so on. So each semester you have a lot of courses to choose from these four main areas in each of the universities. And of course, you might find more information to explore the information that is available at the EC2U site with several hyperlinks for this to this course and to the other ones. So I think now we can be available to answer to some questions. But before that, I think it is important to for you to listen to Sarah, that is one of the students that is experiencing, is a master student of this program. She was at Coimbra in the first semester. She is now in Turku, and she can share with you the experience she's living and something about the living during this time with their colleagues. So please, Sarah.
Hello. As the professor said, my name is Sara. I'm from Portugal originally. I studied biology at the University of Aveiro, and this year, well, in 2022, I entered the Master in Sustainable Cities and Communities with the first semester in Coimbra. As the professor said, I'm now in Turku with my colleagues. We are 8 students this year, the first year of this master. And of course, I will be able to answer more specific questions in the end. But for now, I would just mention my experience so far has been up to my expectations. Because I studied biology, I have many different classes and subjects in this master. But this is what I was expecting. It was also what I hoped for. This allows me to broaden my horizons a lot more. For example, in Coimbra, with classes on energy and economics that I had no basis on. But I think the professors made a really good job at giving us the basics so that even people that don't have any kind of information or background in these areas, I was able to understand the classes. And also, I could always find a link to sustainability and to environmental subjects that I already learned as a biologist. So I am a biologist, but the other colleagues that I have are from every kind of background: architecture, mathematics, statistics, geography, disaster management. So you shouldn't feel intimidated by seeing new things on the classes. Everybody has different backgrounds and experiences. We are also from very different parts of the world. My colleagues are from outside of Europe mostly. And I think everyone was able to adapt well in Coimbra. Right now in Turku, we have also been accepted with very good the professors were very nice to us. They are concerned about our well-being, and yeah, I didn't feel abandoned by moving to Turku, which was really nice. And so far, I'm really enjoying the master. I think it has a lot of potential, and it is very versatile. And for me, I am enjoying a lot the classes that I'm having. I don't know if I should mention something more for now, maybe at the end.
Okay, I think that is coming to an end. And thank you, Sarah, for your input and your feedback on the experience. I think that's very useful for the audience, as we have a lot of people from different countries joining in. I saw. And right now we are going over to the questions. So this is the moment for all of you that joined live, or if you're watching the recording again, you can also still write your questions. So for the ones live, we are able to answer them now. And you can do that through the panel called questions, where I see already we have several questions. So we're going to go over them, and hopefully we can answer some of those. All right, first of all, a question from Amanda is asking, how can I qualify? I don't know if you can say something about this. Who can say something about how to qualify for this? I can say that we did share the link. I did share the link on the program overview in the chat. And there you can see a bit more about the program, but also the application and some other details. I don't know, Claudia or Conceição, can you say something more about how people can qualify and maybe a bit about the application?
Yeah. Hello. Yes, the application. I can tell you the documents needed. I don't know if that is exactly what is wanted, but we need a document that states that the person has the first cycle, how we call it licenciatura, bachelor. Also a CV, a document of identification, and a certificate that proves the English proficiency. And it's the most important documents we need for the application.
The application is done online in our
yes.
academic platform. You can find it in our webpage about the master. If you can please show that page.
Yes, so the link is in the chat already given. That's the program overview link. I will get you the direct application link in a second as well.
Okay, so you have to register in our academic platform and fill on the data. It's very intuitive, our application procedure. So you just follow the instructions, and you also have the possibility of contacting our services and getting help from the colleagues at academic services.
Okay, perfect. So the link is on the screen. If you click on that, it opens up. It goes to the portal from the University of Coimbra, as you will notice. Yeah, you can switch to English, by the way, on the right top. And yeah, I would say just have a look at that after the webinar, so you can have a look through the links that we are sending. Let's continue with some of the questions, because these might be useful for everybody. For example, from Olga is asking about scholarships. And I saw that you already were answering some of this. I think that was the colleague behind the scene. But can Claudia or Conceição say something about scholarships?
On the mobility level, once you move from the first year and you go to a second university, you can use the Erasmus scholarships. Conceição, can you help with the other part?
Well, there's no specific scholarship for this program, so it's not. There's no scholarship for this specific program, but there are several scholarships in Coimbra and in Portugal. Students can apply, but it's not a specific thing.
Maybe I can give my insight as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
So basically, from personal experience, each university has their own scholarship. In Coimbra, for the scholarship to obtain the money to go to Turku. In Turku, we have already applied for the scholarship for Poitiers, which was recently accepted, and we will have more updates on that in April, I think. And then once we go to Poitiers, we would have to apply again to another scholarship for the last semester. So
Yes,
it's independent.
This is the mobility scholarships
Yeah,
Claudia was
Erasmus mobility.
mentioning, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thanks, everyone. And I hope that answered the question. We are getting thank yous through the chat, so I assume that is answering part of that. Aline is asking about the dissertation project, the third semester. Is it different to the master thesis, or is it an introductory class to the thesis in the fourth semester? Luis, maybe you can say something about this?
It's already answered in the, but I can add that this is a course that is to help students to start preparing the thesis. So it is an introductory course, and it is time for students to advance a little bit on the work that they will do on the fourth semester. So it's a course. It's not precisely the thesis.
Okay. Thank you. Indeed, it was given in the chat as well, but just to make sure for everybody that was clear. Next question from Aline. How does the mobility scheme work in terms of housing? Very good point. Do all the students live together? Does the course help to provide housing?
So at the University of Coimbra, students must apply to our social services that manage our housing services. We do have limited places at our residences, but they do the very best to house as much as possible our international students. And we at the international office also try to direct students when there's not a possibility to stay at the residences, try to help them with the help of the Erasmus student network to find other places to stay. And yes, they do live together at the residences.
Okay.
Maybe I can
Thank
also
you.
say something.
Go ahead.
Yeah. In Coimbra, we did not live together, but I'm sure if you do mention with time, you can live in the residencies. But in Coimbra, it was more of an independent search. Here in Poitiers, we did apply for the TYS housing, which you can check as well. It's kind of a student village. And we were all accepted, but it's not up to you where you stay. For me, for example, I was lucky and I stayed with 3 other colleagues of mine. We are the 4th of us in the same housing. The other colleagues are in separate housings, but they are very close. So yeah, I guess it depends.
Okay. Thank you very much. I hope that gives some insights into the housing. I hope that answered your question, Aline. Otherwise, let us know. We can try to dig in deeper if we can find out. Bob had a question. Is how many students are there per batch? I know it's been answered in the chat, but maybe good for everybody to hear about this. Luis?
Yeah, it is a maximum of 30 students.
Okay. Thank you. Roman is asking, what if I finish my bachelor only in summer? Can I temporarily provide this transcript of records instead of my bachelor's certificate?
Yes, I can answer that. The application, we call it conditioned application, is accepted, but then the student, the applicant must provide the document within some time that is given, and if he can, it will be admitted. If not, he may go to the next phase. But it is accepted for a period of time that the person has not the bachelor concluded.
Okay. Thank you. I hope that answered that question of Roman. And next question from Bob. Do the mobility students join local students in their class? Interesting point.
Yes, the courses that the students might choose, some of them are not specific for this course. That is, they join students from different courses, and so very often you have on different masters. For instance, we have the masters in Coimbra of Energy for Sustainability, and some of the courses have students of the Master in Energy for Sustainability, and the other ones from the Sustainable Cities and Communities.
Okay.
And I think that on the other universities will be the same, because the courses that are elective courses are the courses that are available at the schools, so they are available to other students. But I think that Sarah can also share how it is working there.
Yes, well, since we are only 8 students, every class that is not the mandatory, normally we have students from other masters as well. So I think all of them, we had more students, and it's very nice. We can interact with a lot of other Erasmus students and local as well.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Sarah, for adding that to that as well. So I hope that answered that question of, I think it was Bob. Next question from Abdul Razak, if I say that correct, is after which bachelor programs can we join this master? So I actually asked the poll in the beginning what your background is. And so we see a lot of diversity of backgrounds. What type of bachelor do people need to join this?
Well, you can find more in detail on the application site, but as you have already listened from Sarah, we can say that almost all the backgrounds are adequate to this course. So it is to be a multicultural and multidisciplinary courses, and so we have the 2 introductory courses so that we can somehow put all the students at the same level on the issue of sustainable cities and communities, and it is relatively easy for students to get together at the same level and exploring new issues on very different areas. So as Sarah has told, you have people from architecture, from economics, from management, from statistics, from mathematics, biology, and so on. So I will say that almost all the backgrounds are okay.
That is great to hear, and we do have a lot of different backgrounds in the session as mentioned, so that should be a good sign for everybody, and also a nice mix, I guess, in that sense for the classrooms. So great to see. Bob has a question. Are there any field trips on the course?
Maybe I should answer that. Well, because I am from Portugal, in Coimbra, I didn't really do any of them, but I do know that my colleagues had access to and many options from Erasmus, I think. They were considered as Erasmus students, and they had many offers. They went to Aveiro, Porto, Lisbon, Sintra. So yeah, and here in Turku as well, to other places in Finland, and Erasmus activities during the semester. So I would say that's well covered.
Okay, great. Thank you. And we're going to the last couple of questions that we have coming in. By the way, before I go over those, I'd just like to mention as well that I have opened up various polling questions. I think most of you have answered it, but if you haven't yet, please do. For the people that watch the recording, I know these days a lot of people watch the recording actually. You can participate also in answering the polls. So please do let us know your feedback about the background and if you're looking to apply, and if not, maybe some of the reasons, some of the questions we have asked. It would be great to hear your feedback. Next question from Aline is for Sarah. So what is the relationship like within the course? Are you all very close, or how do you spend time with the locals?
I think because we are a small group, we became very close, yes. Especially now in Turku. As I said in the other one, I was living in Aveiro, not there, so I was a bit further away from the rest of the group. But we do get along very well. Nowadays, I do everything with my colleagues. We study together, and we go out together. The ones that I live in here, we are living together in every aspect of the way, and with the other colleagues as well. And we do spend some time with locals, but I would say that is easier in Portugal than in Turku. Maybe cultural aspects. But well, in the residencies, you always have other people from other masters and other countries, so you can also get to know all of them. I would say it's a good environment, yeah.
Great. Thank you. We're getting different reactions to that. So a lot of thumbs up, and they like to hear your feedback, Sarah. So thanks for the question from Alina and the answer. I'd like to mention, by the way, for all the students, especially that joined this session. So if you are in this and you're interested in this topic and possibly studying it, we also have a student community created for you. The link is in the chat. There you find a Discord group where you can already share information with possible students that are looking to study here. So by all means, do join the group and share any questions you may have. There might be people from the same country, and again, joining to the same type of program, so you can help each other and already network, maybe even find a house together, who knows. So there's a lot of options there. We hope that is useful for you. Next question from Anastasia. Is it necessary to translate diplomas if they're not issued in English? For example, in Russian, I know several people from Russia joined. I saw Constantia, you answered it. Could you maybe let us know?
Yes, there's no need to translate the documents if they're in Spanish, French, or English, even if it's Russian. But if there's a translation, sometimes the universities issue diplomas in the native language and also in English. And if it has information, the information in English, French, or Spanish, there's no need to translate. But if there isn't, it is. If it's only in Russian, for example, you have to translate it.
Okay, thumbs up. So I guess that's answering the question from Anastasia. Thank you. Bob was coming back to the field trips. He was referring to academic field trips to do with sustainability. And I think the colleague in the background answered it, but maybe Luis, can you say something about that?
Yeah, as Manuel Gameiro has answered, the EC2U as a forum, and we met several times in the different universities, and the next one that will be in Jena, there will be 2 visits related with sustainability issues.
Okay, I hope that answered that for Bob. Thank you, Luis. Question from Aline for Sarah again. She likes to know, what is the workload like? Do you find it different between the universities?
Well, obviously, I'm still in the middle of the semester in Turku. They are a bit different, though. I was used to exams in my biology bachelor, and in this semester, it's more about works, group works especially. So dealing with other people, cooperating and working together. In Coimbra, I would say it's more on the final evaluation. So in most classes, I had 1 to 2 works, but the main work, the main assignment was at the end of the semester. In Turku, so far, the classes I've had, because in Turku it's divided into 2 periods. I had 2 classes up until now, and then from March onwards, I will have 3 other classes. I would say it's more continuous. So every work you have an assignment, smaller, but every week you have an assignment. I would say it depends on what kind of person you are with organization. But I would say it's similar workload, but in Coimbra, the weeks are a bit hectic, and here it's a lot of work throughout all of the weeks.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Hope that answered it for Aline. We do get a thumbs up, so I assume so. A question from Zed. I don't know the full name, but asking, am I eligible to apply for the masters if I work and I'm 35?
Yes. There's no limits for age, and working students is a reality in several degrees, so it's okay.
Okay, that is great
I
to
will
hear.
add that the only restriction that there might be if you are working is that as students should move each semester between the universities, you might find more difficulties to change the work while you change the university where you are studying.
I would just add that I think 4 of my colleagues are working, at least partially, well, in remotely. So they are not even. One of them, for example, was from Bolivia. She was working there, and she still has some assignments. Some from Turku as well. They were working remotely in Portugal. So it's harder, but it's possible.
Great, thank you, Sarah. I hope that helped in this case. Also, actually, there was a follow-up question regarding the flexibility for working next to studies. So maybe you can say something about that, and also about the fee. It was not clear to him or her. Who can say something about that? Those 2 questions. Working next to study. Is it possible?
Yeah, I think that it was what Sarah was sharing, that it is possible. It is not the easiest one, but of course that you can conciliate one thing with the other. But of course you have to put extra effort in order to achieve it, but it's possible.
Okay, thank you. And I see the fee was just being answered, but maybe Conceição, you can let us know.
I just put the numbers on. The national fee is different from the international. International meaning out of Europe. It's 1500 for national students and 3770 for international students. The payments are divided in 10, and the students pay every month.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I hope that clarified. Another question came in just now from Eileen. So before we are rounding it off, she's asking about internship opportunities at the universities provided by this course. Are there internship opportunities?
They are not defined at the beginning. That is, we don't have now 3 or 4 saying that we have these internship opportunities before the student starting, but it's possible to find opportunities during your studies, and knowing the teachers and the research institutes and the organizations and companies that are connected with the universities in order to find a place to have some internship or something like that. But it's not something that is allocated previously to be available for students to choose before they start the course.
Okay. Thank you very much. And I think that's answering the question from Aline. So I hope that gave a good insight in all these points. I think that at this point there is no further question, I see. So otherwise, let us know. We still have a minute or so left to answer any questions. Again, also for the people that watch the recording, you can still write your question at any time. And then we can, of course, not answer them now live, but come back to you later. Also, in terms of the feedback, the polling, and joining the student community, the link is in the chat. I would say do check that out, and yeah, follow any of the information. This is just a start, this webinar, normally to get people, to be aware of the program and possibly interested. From here on, you can still get a lot of information and yeah, network and find out more if it is for you. Hopefully this webinar helped in that. I have a last polling question for everyone to see if we did a good job. Let me just check if there's any other question. No, there seems to be all answered. I did actually see one question in the chat that was in Russian. Earlier on, I had it translated, and that was if we provide the slides. So the slides actually not, but we are recording this. So we are sending the recording to everyone right after the session. So you can re-watch it again if you missed some parts or you want to share it or watch it again. So then you can feel free to do that. It will actually start within minutes when this session is over. So if you joined late, you can just stay on and watch it from the beginning. All right. So no further questions. Let me then open up the last polling to all of you. And that is to know right over my head there to see how we did. How did you feel the session went? Was the 5 that was being the best? Or was there room for improvement, or did it not fulfill your expectations? If it didn't, let us know in the chat, or if it did as well, do give us some feedback if you like to do. And having said that, yeah, we're coming off and rounding off this session. Any last words, maybe from some of the staff members? Maybe I can give that over to you, Luis, for rounding off the session. Thank you. Yes, you're on mute.
Yeah, I was not having the control. But well, I'm just want to share to you that we are very happy to follow your application. If you have doubts, you have a lot of information in the website of EC2U, also on the website of the University of Coimbra, where you have the applications. And of course, you can contact the coordinators of the course. I am one of these, and we can answer to your questions and your doubts. And for sure, you can also try to contact the students that are already experiencing this master, because they are the best ambassadors of our course. So please apply to this, that you will find that is a very good experience.
Great, good point. Thank you very much for those last words. And I'd like to thank everyone. First of all, the presenters. Luis, thank you very much for your time, and also Conceição, Claudia, as well as Sarah, for your great input and on your experience. I'm sure that was very useful as well to students. Thank you all for your time. And of course, everyone joining in this session, wherever it was that you joined from. I saw a lot of different countries. And yeah, we hope to see some of you maybe in one of these cities that is available in the program next year. So who knows? Thanks everyone for joining, and bye bye for now.
If I could just say something, sorry, someone was asking how they can contact the students. I shared my email in the chat. You can contact me, and I can also send it to the other students. If anyone has
Thank
doubts.
you, Sarah.
Yes, you're welcome.
There it is in the chat.
Feel
Indeed.
free. Yeah.
Thanks everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.